In this lesson, we will learn how to solve systems of linear equations by graphing. Let's start with some vocabulary. A system of equations consists of two or more equations. To find the solution, we are looking for any coordinate point that satisfies all of the equations. Notice the example below. We have two equations, y equals negative x plus 4 and y equals 2x minus 3. This is considered a system of equations because we have two equations. Now what we're trying to find is any coordinate point with an x coordinate and a y coordinate that would satisfy both of those equations. Now if we were looking at a graph, this would just be the point of intersection. Let's take a look at a few examples. Example 1, we have a system of equations. The first equation, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3, is already set up for us in y equals mx plus b format. So in order to graph this line, we will begin with b. We'll start at 3 on the y-axis, and then we're going to use the slope. Remember, slope is rise over run, negative 1 over 2. We will simply go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. When you run out of room, you can go back the opposite direction, up 1, back 2, up 1, back 2, up 1, back 2. And we can draw our line. Okay, now we're going to graph the other line as well. The second equation is also set up for us in y equals mx plus b format. So to graph the second equation, we will start at negative 4 on the y-axis. And here our slope is 3. If I want this to be a fraction, I'll treat it as 3 over 1. So from negative 4 on the y-axis, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And that gets us to the end there. We're going to go back the opposite direction. Down 1, 2, 3. And now we can draw a line through those points. Notice the point is at 2, 2. That is the solution to this system of equations. The x value is 2 and the y value is 2. Example 2, we're going to go through the same process. Now the first equation is already set up in y equals mx plus b format, so we can go ahead and graph that one. I'm going to start my line at 3 because that's my y-intercept. My slope here, I have 1x, so I'm going to treat that as 1 over 1. Remember, it's rise over run, so I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. When you run out of room, go back the opposite direction. Down 1, back 1, down 1, back 1, down 1, back 1, all the way across the page. We can draw our line. Okay, so the first equation is nice. It's not written in slope. Instead, what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to solve for y. In order to do this, we're going to start by moving x to the other side. So we're going to subtract these x's and move it over here. That's going to leave us with negative 2y equals negative x minus 2. And then we can divide by negative 2 to get y by itself. So if I divide that side by negative 2, I need to divide everything by negative 2. Notice I have 1x here, so if I do negative 1 divided by negative 2, it's going to be positive 1/2 x. And negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. Now I've got this equation in y equals mx plus b format, and I can graph my line. So I'm going to begin with b. I'm going to start at 1 on the y-axis. My slope is 1/2, so I'm going to rise 1, run 2, rise 1, run 2, rise 1, run 2. When I run out of room that direction, I'm going to go back the opposite way. Down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2. And I can draw a line through those points that I've plotted. Here we can see that they intersect at -4, -1. So -4 is the x-coordinate and -1 is the y-coordinate. Example 3. Find that the solution to a system is wherever these two lines intersect. So we're going to graph both equations. The first equation is already done for us, y equals mx plus b format, so we can go ahead and graph that one. We're going to begin with b, so we start at 4 on the y-axis. Our slope is -2/3. There's only one negative sign there, so make sure to only treat one of the numbers as negative. So if I go down 2, I'll have to go to the right. 1, 2, 3. Down 2, to the right 3. When you run out of room, go back the opposite direction. Up 2, back 3. We can connect those points with the line. Intercept form yet, so we're going to have to take this second equation. We're going to have to solve for y. So in order to get y by itself, I'm going to start by moving the x's to the other side. So I will subtract 2x on both sides. And when I rewrite the next row, we'll be left with 3y equals -2x plus 3. Then to get y by itself, I'll just divide by 3 on both sides. If you divide one thing by 3, you got to divide all of it by 3. So we have -2/3 x, and 3 divided by 3 will be plus 1. All right, now our equation is in y equals mx plus b format, and we can graph our second line. So we're going to begin with b. We start with the y-axis, and then we use our slope, rise -2, so down 2/3, down 2/3, down 2/3. When you run out of room, go back the opposite way. Up 2, back 3. Up 2, back 3. And we are looking for the point of intersection. Actually had the exact same slope. We see that in the first equation and we see that in the second equation. That means that they're parallel. These lines will never cross. And if they don't cross, then there is no solution to the system. There is no point that these two lines have in common because they are parallel. Last example. We're going to graph both of these lines and we're looking for the point of intersection. So the first equation is done for us. It's already in slope-intercept form. So we know that we will begin with b. We'll start at 2 on the y-axis. Our slope is -3/4. There's only one negative sign, so we make sure to only treat one of those numbers as negative. So we're going to go down 3, but then we're going to go to the right 4. Down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, 3. When you run out of room, go back the opposite direction. Up 3, back 4. And we can draw that line. So we have the second equation, 3x plus 4y equals 8. To get x by itself, I'm going to take this 3x and I'm going to do minus 3x to move it to the other side. That leaves us with 4y equals -3x plus 8. Lastly, to get y by itself, we will divide everything by 4. That leaves us with 1y equals -3/4 x plus 8 divided by 4, that's 2. Now we have y equals mx plus b format, and we can graph this line. So we could start again at 2, and then go down 3/4, down 3/4, and if we work backwards, up 3, back 4. Notice that all of these points are the exact same as the first line. In fact, this equation is the same as the first equation. So these points, single point on the line. So here we say there are infinitely many solutions. Any point that is a solution to the first equation will also be a solution to the second equation because they're the exact same.